Welcome to my presentation on biopoems. Biopoems are biographical descriptions written in a simple, structured poem form. They can be written autobiographically, they can be about someone known to the author, or they can be about a person the author researches, like a historical figure. They don't generally rhyme or have a standard meter, though there isn't any specific rule against it. Well, I found countless templates and lesson plans for biopoems on Teachers Pay Teachers and tons of different educational blogs. I didn't find any examples of Robert Frost or Maya Angelou or Emily Dickinson or any famous published poets writing a structured list of adjectives, fears, and addresses. The examples of biographical poetry these accomplished writers have are a lot richer and more complicated. Nor could I find any explanation of this specific type of biopoem that included mention of the origin of this kind of poetry. So if you come across any information like that, please pass it along. From what I can tell, this poetry type is really just an academic affair. This poetry form can be a great introduction to poetry writing for students. Because it can be written all about the self, students don't need to go in search of any other information. It gives students a chance to share something about themselves that goes beyond what many of their classmates might know about them. Hey, I didn't know that. Depending on the age or ability level of your students, you can ask for less or more lines of text, more or less detail or depth. These poems can be written with any age group. A biopoem is typically around 10 lines and includes information like the subject's name, adjectives to describe the subject, important relationships the subject has in their life, things the subject loves or loves to do, what they might like to read, especially if you're talking about school, maybe feelings surrounding school or reading or something like that. Maybe an important memory they have, maybe some of their fears, their needs, specific accomplishments, their hopes or wishes, and their home, where they live now, or maybe where they're from. To teach this form of poetry, you'd first want to explain a biopoem and show students an exemplar. For instance, I have a second grader who wrote Lewin, funny, nice, adventurous, son of Craig and Emily, loves Legos and walks, happy when snuggling and drinking hot chocolate, wishes for gold, silver, emeralds, rubies, afraid of the dark, floods, war, a burning home, wonders when did we start having war, lives at 497 Essex Ave. Then you want to model the brainstorming process for this poem and give students brainstorming time. Graphic organizers are an integral part of this brainstorming process for students. They give a predictable structure, which this form of poetry has, and allow students some freedom within a clear framework. You can fill in your own graphic organizer. So they'll have it in front of them. They'll see a line that says, who fears? And then you can talk about, oh, well, one thing that really scares me is thunder and lightning. I think that rainstorms are really scary. Because this poetry form is really structured and dependent upon prompts, as an assignment, it's well suited to modifications. For struggling learners, graphic organizers can offer a fuller prompt that has just one or a few blanks students need to fill in. Students are still having the experience of brainstorming and playing with word choice without having to write full sentences. Also, a word bank of character traits can be provided to aid students in finding colorful adjectives. This poetry form also lends itself well to modifications in the way that lines can be added or removed if kids are more or less comfortable discussing different topics. Now that everyone's graphic organizers have been filled out, you can model writing your own biopoem in front of the class and model your thinking as you consider these different things about yourself. Emily Cito. Creative, loving, anxious, fidgety, mother of Minna and Lewin, who reads all manner of content from articles to classics, who feels overextended, loves baking, sewing, snuggles, walks in the woods, Happiest when the sun is on her face and there's a chill in the air, surrounded by loved ones, having a cup of tea. Needs more alone time. Hopes to raise children who care for themselves and others. Afraid of the dark and fast-moving currents. Wonders if there's life on other planets. Resides in Gloucester. Depending on the grade level, you can note how you strayed from the exact prompts in your final drafts to make it your own. This would be for higher grade levels. Give students time to draft and then peer edit their poems before having brief informal conferences with you. Because this is such a standardized and short poem, conferences can be pretty quick. Give students time to write or type a neat final draft, and then celebrate this writing. Bio poems make excellent bulletin board material, especially paired with drawings or photos of your students. Once students are comfortable with autobiographical bio poems, consider using this process in social studies or science to research and present on a historical figure. This is a fun and versatile poetry tool for the classroom. If you're looking for templates or lesson plan ideas, these are some sites I found helpful. I can send them along to you if you'd like. Happy poetry writing!